Welcome and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of 5 Questions. I'm Olivia and today with Ian Dimitrie, senior pitcher from our baseball team. So thank you for joining me today, Ian. I know you have a 4-game series against Purdue Northwest, so it's a busy time. But to start out today, given the success that the program had last year, how have you and the team used that as motivation going into this season?
We try to not really think about last year too much. Obviously, it was a good season, and you want to look back on that and celebrate it. But this year's a new team. It's a new season. We have a lot of new guys. And so we really just stress our make them believe mentality. We have something to prove again this year because nobody's going back and looking at the stats from last year. Nobody's really going back and saying, oh, they were really good last year. Who cares about this year? I mean, it's all about this year now. And so we're focusing on the new group of guys, really good new group of freshmen, really good group of transfers, and just implementing them into our culture. Excuse me. And that's kind of just what we've been focusing on. Our big motto is make them believe 1 + 1 = 3 mentality, just team guys, all about the team and just building that culture over time. So,
right now you're 6-0 on the mound, so what do you do to ensure success on game days?
I just work hard 5 days a week. We have our in-between starts. We have a lifting schedule. We have a recovery schedule. Me and Tyler tend to get pretty competitive in between starts, and so we do a good job of pushing each other in between. This year we've had the privilege to pitch on the same day a couple of times, and so it's been nice. We've been on a similar schedule, throwing wise and just pushing each other in workouts, on the field, off the field, just competing with each other over and over again. And that's just how we've been preparing each day. And then mentally is a big one too. I just day before games or even before games, I really try to focus on my mental game, mental preparation, things like that.
Touching on mental stress, how do you combat that on game days?
So on game days, I tend to be a little bit weirder than most guys. When I'm not pitching, I'm really goofy and outgoing and like to mess around in the dugout and on the field and stuff. And then when it comes time for me to pitch, I get my headphones and I don't really talk to anybody. I've had a couple guys say that sometimes they're scared to talk to me on game days just because I get a little angrier mentality. And that's just my way of staying focused. Sometimes when I start talking to people, I tend to forget about the task at hand. And so I just like to stay in my own head, focus on what I need to focus on, and just worry about my game day preparation, my mental preparation. And sometimes I'll watch little videos of like interviews from professional pitchers who are really good with the mental game. I've read a few different books on like golf mental game, baseball mental game, and just trying to repeat a process over and over again and not really think about the result. And so that's really how I focus on just my mental process and things like that going into a game day.
Sounds like you've got it down. Expert at that. So baseball can be a long season, I understand, with doubleheaders and big game series. So what do you and your teammates do to make sure team chemistry is the best it can be, as well as the culture?
So team chemistry is kind of just built into our culture. That's something that Coach Bischel has done a really good job of over the last 4 years. I haven't played for that many coaches. I mean, I think I've played for about 8 coaches in my life. And I'd say that Coach Bischel has definitely been the best with implementing culture into a program. And I've had the opportunity to see it grow over the past 4 years. And my first year here, obviously, new coach, a little bit of a new team. The culture wasn't quite there. We had a decent season. We made the tournament for the first time in a while. And so it was a pretty good season, but just the culture wasn't there. We weren't doing the little things right, and just the team chemistry wasn't quite as strong. Same with my sophomore year, team chemistry wasn't as strong. And then last year was when I really noticed. I mean, you could ask me and I'd have to think about, oh, that kid's a freshman or, oh, that kid's a senior. I wouldn't even think about it because it was just a big group of friends. I mean, it was just 50 guys who were all just really good friends on and off the field. And that just got us to push each other in practice, push each other on game day, and pull for each other because, as you know, I mean, we carry about 20 pitchers and only one pitcher can pitch each game. So it's tough for us to pull for each other when, like, say a reliever wants to go in. It's tough for them to pull for me to do well because then they're not going to get to play, you know. And that's something that just Coach Bischel really presses is knowing each other's names at week 1 with 60 guys. It's tough to do, but it's something that we just have to get done in order to implement the culture with all the new guys and things like that. And that's something Coach Bischel does a really good job of.
What would you say has been your biggest athletic achievement?
Individually, my biggest athletic achievement was being all conference last year. Because after my first 2 years here, I had a total of, I think, like 32 innings total in 2 years. And so being all conference wasn't really in my thoughts, or I mean, it wasn't even really a goal of mine. My goal was just to be a starter last year. And then I had a pretty decent season, and I became all conference, and that was a pretty big achievement for me. But even bigger than that was the team accomplishment of winning the regular season and then winning the tournament. First time in school history, and it was pretty unbelievable to be able to be a part of that. And it was a great opportunity with just a bunch of great guys, and that's something I'll remember for the rest of my life, no doubt.
And congratulations to you on that as well. That's huge. So looking forward, when you graduate from Northwood in May, what's next for you?
So, I mean, I'm hoping to be able to get a chance to continue playing somewhere. That's kind of unlikely, but there is a small chance. So I'm hoping that's the road that's the path I can take. But if not, I mean, I am going to come back, and I'm going to be a pitching coach next year here, help out for 2 years, and continue at DeVos Graduate School. So.
Thank you for your time today, Ian. Be sure to go to www.gonorthwood.com for game day updates.